Suara Inspirasi,
where every voice tells a story.
and every story will inspire you.
All right, so now we've come to the final leg of our chat today. We are going to go into personal reflections, right? Because, hey, everybody who goes through an entrepreneurial journey will have a lot of stories to tell, but also in terms of reflections and the key learnings that you've had over the years. A bit of it was touched by you earlier,
Yeah,
Sundar, but I think let's go a bit
It was
deeper.
just
It's like a passive
appetizer.
conversation, appetizer, right?
Right.
So the first one, the unexpected lessons, was what we kind of covered at the
Yeah, I
beginning in
think we
terms
did.
of what were your things you've learned. Now, a bit on what I touched when we had the break, Chung Lynn, is the fact that legacy, right? You are an icon, not just to the people outside looking in, but also within the organization. You've been the founding CEO, you've built the brand to what it is today. The legacy of who you are and what you've built will always be something that is going to be, at the very least, at the back of the mind of anyone taking over your seat. How, on one, is the legacy of Nando's moving forward when you've taken a step back, I assume, for now, for a lot more longer time? And how do you ensure that this continues when you say, okay, look, I'm just going to take 6 months in a year, be in Saint Tropez and do nothing, and it's still going to continue the way you've envisioned it to be? Your legacy, really.
Yeah, I think those ones are making sure that the systems and processes are in place, right? And so you got to ensure that you give it to somebody in safe hands. But I think in terms of, the face and things like that, so Robbie Brosen and Robbie Enthoven, there's the two Robbies who owns Nando's, they are the faces of Nando's as well.
Okay.
But they've got the people working below. So, but if they want to profile somebody, it would be one of those two. In Malaysia, likewise, they felt that me being a female and the founder, they wanted to profile me as well. But if they're talking about a business type article, maybe they'll profile the CEO as such. So I think, they've been able to profile us in different ways and our role in the business as such in terms of the face. But stepping out, yes, you're right. Because if a founder is involved in the business, it's extremely hard for the CEO to find their place, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why, in a way, I step back and I don't go into the office as much. If I have all my things, I meet with them individually, and so that people were able to get used to their new leaders, and they didn't feel they could come up to me and say bypass the CEOs as such. And that's something that I've had to be very conscious of, to allow space for my CEOs to run.
So now,
It's hard.
it is. But
Yeah.
now you're firm in your decision to say, look, there will be a CEO that will run Nando's. You're not going to come back unless, touch wood, and there's no wood here.
No, no, no.
Right? That you're not going to come back and do a 9-month stint to turn it around again, right?
No.
So now, would you, again, not on camera before, so I want you to share with everybody who's viewing this, is while there was a serendipitous moment in terms of how Nando's became Nando's here in Malaysia, knowing what you've done now, would you do it again?
Definitely.
Wow.
I've loved this journey.
Okay.
I've absolutely loved this journey. I mean, in a way, I don't actually know where Nando's stops, right? I mean, they always say that you've got peri-peri running through your blood, through your veins and things like that. But,
Okay.
when you run a business, and I'm sure it's the same with you, Sundar, when
Yeah.
you run a business, you breathe, eat, live
Correct.
the business.
No
Unfortunately, with
matter
mine,
how
I
much
actually
you
do
go
breathe,
through.
actually eat it as well, right?
Okay.
So,
You actually eat
you
it,
can't
yes.
eat your scaffoldings
Yeah.
and all that, but yeah.
True. I mean, it is like you say, right? So no matter, once you fall in love with your business, and you get a lot of setbacks, ups and downs, and things like that. But you carry on, you move on.
Yes.
Right. So I think that will resonate a lot with a lot of founders as well.
Yeah.
Right.
But you're at the point that you can decide what's next, right? You can decide whether you want to still be involved. You can
Yeah.
decide whether you don't want to be as much involved.
Correct.
And I know retirement is not on the cards, right? What is next for two things, for Chung Lynn and for Nando's?
I think for Nando's, we've got to be able to grow. So I met up with another food entrepreneur about a month ago. And he said the hardest part to scaling up was around that 70, 80 mark. I don't know why. I don't know whether it's because, you worked with one model until this stage. And then to be able to scale to like that 100, 200, you've got to be able to adapt yourself to different models. And he says, if you can break this 70, 80 mark, that 100, 150, it's pretty similar. It's
Okay.
quite easy to do.
So it's like a psychological barrier.
I don't know. We just cannot break this mark. We've been stuck at this level for about 5 years. We
Wow.
open, we go back. We open, we go back. We've literally have not moved
Okay.
in about 5 years. And if we could get that and just go beyond, I think it will be easy. And I think we've got the formula.
Yeah.
We just have to keep it going.
Yeah. I was just about to ask you. Have you found that secret?
Yeah, I think we've worked out the model now. As I was saying, we've worked out the smaller footprint. We've also worked out the standalones.
Okay.
In the past, we didn't know where we were going. We knew we were in the shopping centers, but that was it. Done.
Okay. Okay.
And what's next for you, Chung Lynn?
What next for me? I don't know. Travel, see the world, relax,
Okay. That's nice.
do more yoga, see my kids grow
Oh,
up.
by the way, Chung Lynn does sound healing. That's something that I think,
Okay.
yeah, it's very important. I think spirituality and
Sound healing a little bit more on
So,
that.
so I got my yoga teacher training. So I'm a 500 hours yoga teacher.
Okay.
And then
So you're qualified.
I'm a qualified yoga
Yeah.
teacher as well.
Okay.
And then in between doing, sort of in between all this meeting people and things like that, I did my Reiki.
Okay.
Reiki.
So I'm also a Reiki
Reiki
healer.
healer.
I'm a
I
sound
see.
healer.
Okay.
I also can read tarot. Tarot
Really?
cards. Yeah, exactly.
You know, near the Jaya one where Endeavour is, there
Yeah.
is a very nice Reiki healing and spiritual healing center just above the open,
Okay.
which I think is amazing. I think a lot of us are so busy with just work. You look at your physical health, but not your spiritual health
Yeah.
or your mental health.
Yeah, true. I think we need a lot more of this. Not only physical, mental. I think we need something extra, right? Beyond what we do on a daily basis.
Yep.
Something to take your mind off. And that's what a lot of people are lacking, just to have that balance. But we don't seem to. That's lacking in lately. With a lot of entrepreneurs I see, and it's just work, focus, and
I think when
lacking a lot on the
when
balance.
you're starting up,
Yeah.
you throw your whole life around it, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
true. You wrap that.
you just got no time for anything else. And the one thing I learned over the years was you've got to make time and you've got to put it in your diary. If you don't put it in your diary to say, do your workout or, to go for lunches with friends or whatever, you will never do it.
Yeah.
But if you put it in your diary, you actually always will find time. It sounds really weird. You will always find that 1 hour to
Okay.
do your workout.
Okay.
Always have 1 hour for yourself.
Yeah.
Carve some time out.
Self-time is everything.
Yeah.
It is.
Exactly.
Which is again the next, I guess, segment or question that we're going towards is in terms of understanding how you mentioned earlier they wanted to highlight, or your team wanted to highlight you because you're the female founder, and we need a lot more female founders in not just Malaysia but the world. But I think what's also important is understanding how gender diversity plays a huge role in Nando's, and how you're doing your part to sort of move the needle forward in this.
We've never had an issue with this. I think having been a female boss, I think I was getting the stats, 263 people in leadership. So you're talking about restaurant managers
Okay.
and everybody in the office and things. 59% are women.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bravo.
So we have a very strong women team. At one point, when I was running the business before I stepped back, I think I had one male exco. That was it. All the rest were female.
Okay.
And this is
So-
by merit, right? You found them and they're good
We
at doing
found
their
them
job.
and they're
yeah.
really good. Women are more
There you go.
detailed. Yeah.
There you go. So this is another proof of testament that women in
Yeah,
power, right?
you know what was so interesting? So every single year in Malaysia, we have an international grillers competition, right? And literally every single year we've done this. They go out to whichever country, the whole world comes to compete on grilling. Malaysia always sends a woman.
Huh.
And around the world, not many people do this. And in fact, my Singapore GM was saying, when he first went in, they were saying that, you can't get female grillers and things like that. Malaysia, we got plenty. And it's just not a hindrance. And I think you've just got to be able to open up and allow people to be.
Is it same now with the younger generation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
No, I find it interesting also because of the fact that in my own personal experience, right? I think when we had our lunch, Chung Lynn, in the Tri Damansara
Yeah.
outlet, your store manager was a woman, right?
Yes.
Obviously, because Chung Lynn was there, maybe she's nice. But even if Chung Lynn wasn't there, the way she was handling certain key issues, like, okay, this is not there, the drink's not here, it feels different, right? I mean, if it's a male storm, I think a woman's touch is very, very interesting in the F&B space because you don't feel like there's a bit of hard selling involved, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think that's got to do with bringing out the personality, to be fair. I think we've got some really, really good guys who can do that as well.
Maybe the culture.
Yes, it's the culture,
I guess
the business.
culture,
It's the
Nando's culture.
culture,
That's the difference, right? So.
Yeah.
So what makes the culture at Nando's? Because you touched a bit about it at the beginning.
So it's diversity is definitely one. So, in Singapore, we work with ex-offenders. So we work with the Yellow Ribbon program, right? So I think at any one time, we've got like 20, 30 ex-offenders working with us.
Okay, that's something to note, yeah?
So basically, in your last 6 months during probation, in your probationary period, you're allowed to go out and work for businesses. And we've been running this program now for a good 8 to 10 years. And I remember that the lady who brought this in actually said to me one day, she says, Chung Lynn, Yellow Ribbon wants to profile Nando's. Would you allow it? And I said, yeah, why not, right? Because it's part of our culture to be all-inclusive and we're, all sorts of diversity and everything else. And she said that when she was in her other company, she wasn't allowed to by the bosses because they were so afraid of what the other staff would think working next to an ex-offender.
Yeah,
perception.
The perception, but in our minds, we think of it as we're giving opportunities to people, second chances. And it's a whole program that Yellow Ribbon runs, right? We've never had an issue with anybody.
Not a single one?
Not a single one. Nobody treats them differently. There are people who've gone into jail for small, petty things. They've realized they've come out and they're trying to start life again. And I tell you, some of these guys have gone on to become supervisors for us and things, and great guys.
Do you think this is because the Nando's culture?
It is. It is. And it's around the world. It is. I mean, if you think about it, the roots of Nando's comes from South Africa.
Okay.
One of the most suppressed country. We had apartheid and things like that. So the culture stems from that. And we actually have a word for it, a rainbow nation, right? So that's us as a brand.
So, just trying to understand that. I mean, I've read some research, and the reason why what was the word you used it? Because I'm about to use ex-convicts, which is not the right one. Ex-offenders, right?
Yeah.
Why they are usually, in terms of, they don't do as bad as you think they would, it's simply because they're so glad that you gave them a second chance.
So, the Singapore program is very, very tough.
Oh, really?
Yes. They are all tagged. So they have to come in at a certain time. They have to leave at a certain time. Okay. All our restaurant managers are trained up. They have got people coaching and mentoring them. The program is very holistic. It's a great, great program.
I see.
If they had that around the world in Malaysia and things like that, we would able to rehabilitate people a lot better.
We don't have that in Malaysia?
Not a program like that, no.
I think I don't think we have something expensive as that.
The managers are even rewarded by the government. So if you have an ex-offender working in your restaurant, so let's say you maybe have to manage them and coach them and mentor them and work with them a bit harder, the government rewards the restaurant manager for that.
Wow.
They maybe give them maybe $2. I have no idea how much. Maybe it's $2 per person for each person that you've got in your restaurant. So they incentivize people and realize that it's a holistic campaign that they need everybody to be involved.
Okay.
It's really, it's comprehensive.
Yeah, kind of interesting, right? And also, again, on this Nando's and art, right? So there seems to have a great connection, and maybe you could explain how did this evolve to what it is today? Everybody somehow or other associate from your menus to your stores to your designs and all that. How did this all come?
So Nando's is the largest collector of South African contemporary art in the world. I mean, if you think about it, we've got maybe 20, 30 pieces in every single restaurant, right?
And these are originals?
It's all originals. And basically how they did it was, in South Africa, it started with the founders. One of the founders was really passionate in art. And they basically give out, let's say, 1 foot by 1 foot type canvases out to artists, and they will get them to paint, and then we'll go back and buy them from you.
Wow!
So it's encouraging the artist community to be able to build, and then it's also collecting art on our side as well. So it helps it provides for a platform for them to grow. And it's become something that's been very, very key to the Nando's
DNA.
purpose.
Yeah.
So our purpose is basically changing lives together. And that's working with the community as well. And that affects our restaurant, right? Because we use it as decor in the restaurant and things.
Correct.
We actually ran our own Nando's art competition in Malaysia for a good 10 years. We don't do
Okay.
it anymore.
All right.
But for 10 years, I started this. So we used to, and we worked with all the universities around. At our peak, we had 900 applicants.
Wow, serious?
Yeah, that came in. We became known as the platform for launching art.
Okay.
And when we had our competition, all the big galleries around Malaysia would come and pick from them. So some of our winners have gone on to become like the who's who in the art world in Malaysia. But we decided that would take a second. There's a lot more companies doing it now. And we wanted to concentrate on South African contemporary art. So that's what we're doing from a global point of view.
Okay. Interesting. Any other things similar to this that you guys are running?
We do a lot. So changing lives. So even mosquitoes, malaria. So this is something that we work. We go around spraying houses in Mozambique and things like that with this film.
Okay.
We also have something called the Perry Farms, where we now buy all our chilies from. So basically, we set up, we give seedlings to local communities and farmers. We teach them how to plant, and then we buy back the seedlings from them.
A very sustainable company.
Yeah. So these are a lot of the things that we're doing for our people, or for the community as such.
Right, interesting. I think we are coming towards the end, and on our journey today, and as usual on our last ending part, Adeline.
We'll do the quick fire, and it's very, very strict, right? You're supposed to give one word, right?
One
Remember?
only.
It's a one-word answer, right?
Right.
So, and it's quick fire, so you got to be super on your feet, okay?
Oh
So,
my
Chung Lynn,
God.
and for everybody out there watching, we're going to go to the last set of questions. There are 5 of them. We're going to ask Chung Lynn. I'm going to turn around slightly. I was told not. I'm going to take out my seatbelt. We're stopped, so we're safe. Okay? Okay, so we'll start with the first question. Chung Lynn, most important quality in an entrepreneur?
Persistence.
Okay.
If you can have dinner with any person in the world, dead or alive, who would it be?
Husband, but only I'm twisted, and he wouldn't have dinner with me otherwise. I'd
What would you say to your younger self?
enjoy the journey.
Okay, the last 2 questions, Sundar, you're going to ask us.
All right. Okay. I mean, describe your endeavor journey in one word or a line.
Grateful.
Wow.
Community.
Okay. And what's the most memorable moment in your time with Endeavor?
I won an award for mentoring one time. That was the most bizarre. Actually, that's a longer one.
Okay.
I don't know why during COVID, I was asked to mentor literally like every 2 weeks. I don't know how that happened. 2-3 weeks. I was mentoring nonstop. Also many different
Algorithm.
teams. Algorithm.
No, Adeline, because I think that was I like Chung Lynn. Let's deploy her into sort of more.
probably. I thought it was like the Instagram algorithm and all that,
Yeah, I didn't know. I was like mentoring, maybe not every 2-3 weeks, but I felt like it. Maybe it was only once a
I
month.
remember. Chung Lynn was on. You were in your room, and I was every session with her.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Anyway, thank you so much,
Thank you
Lynn,
so
for
much.
taking your time off for doing this. And I think it's really I hope it's going to be beneficial to most of the listeners out there. I think we heard some of the stories that you guys have not listened before, and great inputs from Mac, and Adeline, yourself, you want to say something?
Yeah, I mean, we'd like to say thank you to Chung Lynn's time, obviously, and to Audi for giving us this wonderful car that has been driven way below the speed limit. So
Exactly.
you behaved pretty well,
Yeah.
Other than the bump that you kind of made it, fly a bit.
Yeah, we get a different car each time for our service. Once again, really thanks Audi and our beautiful fully electric e-tron GT today.
It
And
was
we also
very-
have a gift from Audi for Chung Lynn.
Yeah.
It's in the middle. Okay, it's a sports car, so obviously the leg room is a bit tight for me to take this out. So I'm going to go back a bit, and I'm going to give this
Oh,
Chung
thank you.
Lynn.
Yeah.
So this is a big thank you from Audi for joining us for
Thank
today's
you.
session.
Exactly.
I was kind of hoping it was going to be another Audi because I was just I have actually won an Audi before A3 in a lucky draw.
You see,
So there you go.
winning a car.
How come we didn't win any cars, man?
So there's not an Audi in this box?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe because you're lucky, it'll probably be this car.
By the way, you will also be given a free drive
of an Audi of your choice for a week.
Oh, wow.
Just
a
pick
week?
a car. Yes.
Okay, I guess my husband will be choosing
Yeah,
this.
the e-tron. Yeah.
The e-tron.
So look, go through the models and just let us know. And Audi is giving you a free drive,
Oh, wow.
1 week, car of your choice.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you, Audi.
Yeah, final words, Mac, from you?
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's been a real privilege, and I've really enjoyed it, actually. It's been
Really?
really fun. Yeah, it's been really fun.
Okay, thank you so much, guys. And also thank you for the crew for this wonderful podcast. And that's all. Thank
We'll
you.
see you for the next one, guys.
Right.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Why we do what we do, I think over the years we see that there is a lot of potential in this space. There is a need for people to really deliver a heartfelt message, and gifting is a part of that. And flowers and gifts actually plays a big role in that. And I see that there is a need to really elevate that customer experience. So our mission is really about creating moments of happiness. We want to, really, help people to create that moment of happiness through the service and the products that we do.
When we met each other that time, we were just colleagues. We were not even girlfriend, boyfriend yet. Yeah.